So to the politicians that you were talking about, to Senator Marco Rubio, who said after this shooting, you know, you can pass the law, but you're still going to have these horrible attacks. What do you say to him?
I say to that even though if they say that criminals get guns no matter what laws you have in place, that might be true, but...
So she admits right away that putting more restrictions on guns might not even stop future shootings. And then she proceeds to tell us why we need more restrictions on guns.
And we can prevent some seriously nasty crimes and some seriously indescribable tragedies from occurring. And if somebody doesn't want to do that at this point, that's pathetic.
So she admits that there's no evidence that putting more restrictions on guns would actually stop more gun deaths. And it's true, there is no evidence for that. But what there is evidence for is that according to the FBI, 90% of firearm murders come from illegally bought guns. If you make something illegal, you increase the supply for it in the black market. An example of this is prohibition in the 1920s. All this would do is result in more guns being sold illegally to people who wish to do bad things with them, at the same time taking them away from law-abiding citizens.
What did you both think about the president tweeting over the weekend? Very sad that the FBI missed all of the signals sent out by the Florida school shooter. This is not acceptable. They're spending too much time trying to prove Russian collusion with the Trump campaign. There is no collusion. Get back to basics and make us all proud.
This is absolutely true. The shooter posted videos of himself on YouTube talking about how he wanted to be a professional school shooter. This kid wasn't even allowed to bring a backpack to school, and the cops had been called on his house 39 times since 2010. Yet the FBI just said, nah, he looks fine, you know. Nothing wrong there. I'm fairly confident that the FBI should have gone through more preventative measures in this situation.
And it's wrong that the president is blaming them for this. After all, he is in charge of the FBI. He can't put that off on them.
Wait, did he just say that Trump is in charge of the FBI?
He is in charge of the FBI.
No, he's not. One could argue, however, that the FBI director is in charge of the FBI. Huh.
Look, I don't have to tell you guys, they give millions of dollars to politicians. They have a very powerful tool.
Okay, let's do a fun comparison. Between 1998 and 2017, the NRA spent $200 million on all political activities combined. Unions, on the other hand, spent $1.7 billion on the 2016 election cycle alone. So yeah, go ahead and keep telling me about unfair influences in politics through money.
So, I mean, how do you expect politicians who need money to keep running for office to say no to the NRA?
Because we keep telling them that if they accept this blood money, they're against the children. They're against the people who are dying. And there's no other way to put it at this point.
Of course, here we are again with the left making the same argument they make every single time, claiming that people who disagree with their policy are against the children. Please shut up with that crap. No one is against the children or the victims of any mass shooting.
You're either funding the killers or you are standing with the children.
This just doesn't make any sense at all. They are saying that if I don't support their vague policy of gun control, then I am funding the killers and I am against the dying children. That's so sick.
We don't have jobs.
Gee, shocker. What a surprise.
We would hope that you have the decent morality to support us at this point.
There it is again. If you don't support our gun policy, then you don't have decent morality.
If you can't get elected without taking money from child murderers, why are you running?
So apparently the NRA are child murderers? Not Planned Parenthood, however. Oh, no. They only kill about, 321,000 unborn babies every year. But the real killers are the NRA. This just doesn't make any sense. The NRA doesn't even sell guns, so it's not like they're supplying the murderers with the guns they're using to kill children. I just don't understand how that is even an argument. So if the NRA is against the dead children because they support gun rights, does that mean that teacher unions are against kids' educations because they are against school choice? Of course not. It just shows you the lack of thought that goes into these arguments where all they do is label you as evil. What bothers me most about this video is that these kids are suggesting if I don't agree with their specific gun policy, that I am just uncaring towards the dead children. What a pathetic way to paint your opponents as evil and immoral for disagreeing with you on policy. Whenever there's an Islamic terrorist attack, I'm assuming that these kids probably disagree with me on policy as to what to do for the solution. But that doesn't mean that I assume they just don't care enough about the dead victim. Of course I think they care. I just think they disagree on the policy as to how to solve the problem. So why can't they give us the same credit? It's so sick that these kids would stand on the graves of their friends and use it as a political baton to label those who disagree with their gun policy as supporters of the killers. We as a nation need to start realizing that just because someone has different views on how to solve a problem doesn't mean that they are sympathetic towards the killers or that they just don't care enough about the dead children. Until people wake up and stop labeling each other as terrible people for having different beliefs on policy solution, then our country will get nowhere.